Hey guys, Aggie K, wealth therapist. Next to some schmutz my kids put on the wall that I still haven't magic erasered. Those of you who follow me. Hopping on to talk about two quick things that the passion won't lead to profits if you're not passionate about these two things. And this conversation came up with a client in my PTP program. And this is something she's been struggling with for a while. And it's kind of like a default thing for her particularly, and it might be for you if you're watching this, where your default thing when things are good or things are not dramatic or things are not on a roller coaster is you return to this question of like, yeah, but I'm just like, I haven't found my passion yet. I don't know what I'm passionate about. Like, where is this thing? I see all these people that are like super passionate about what they do, super passionate about their businesses and their why and their mission and all of this. And like, why isn't that happening to me? And this search for this elusive thing that I'm super passionate about that's going to like just fix my life, you know? And it's like searching for the Holy Grail. It's like this one thing, it's back to that kind of like lottery ticket mentality. If I just find the thing I'm super passionate about, then everything will fall into place, and all my problems will be solved. Right? It's that same kind of like lottery ticket mentality. If just this one thing happens, then everything else will work out, which is never usually the case, right? It's usually not the case that if I just find the thing I'm passionate about, everything is going to fall into place. If I just have the money, then everything is going to fall into place. If just this, then everything will fall into place. Hey, Dottie. Dottie, FB Ads Genius. Check her out. Dottie knows this because passion doesn't necessarily lead to profit. Positioning leads to profit. Consistency leads to profit. Other things lead to profit, not just passion. And expecting yourself to have passion about something all the time where every single, I think like these Tony Robbins type of things lead people to believe that everyday entrepreneurs are just like jumping out of bed and, like just cannot believe their luck. Look, it's still a job. Like, get out of fantasy land, right? It's still a job, right? It's still a job. So even if you're passionate about it and you love it, it's still a job. It's still something you have to show up for. Every day, just like a brick and mortar, you have to show up. You have to be open for business. Your sign has to say open. So there's seasons of like passion about what you do and thinking that like, I'm going to find the thing I'm passionate about, or I haven't found it yet and I need to find it and it's going to unlock everything is kind of a distraction probably from looking at the money, one. So those are the two things that I would say you got to be passionate about. And you're not going to find your passion unless you're passionate about these things. But one is making money. And two is passionate about yourself. I'd rather see you be passionate about yourself. You could probably sell more things being passionate about yourself. And these like, rags to riches entrepreneurs that you see and coaches that you see are really passionate about themselves. They've got that going on, right? But being passionate about yourself and being passionate about making money and focusing on money definitely has to be in place for your passion to emerge, right? Looking for the passion to be like the lottery ticket. Oh my God, I'm so passionate about this. I mean, it's like you're not a robot. You're not going to be passionate about it forever, for always. You're going to evolve. Things are going to change. Hey, Annika. Hey, Jesse. Hey, Sherry. It's going to evolve, right? It's kind of like, I want to find the thing I'm passionate about so that I don't have to be passionate about myself. Because I'd rather not focus on being passionate about myself, because that's much harder. It's much harder to be passionate about myself. It's much harder to be passionate about my money. It's much harder to like love the mess that I'm in right now. I'd rather just find the thing that's going to save the world and change people's lives and make it so amazing. It's kind of like easier to be like, I want to save the world than I want to save myself. it's easier in a way to do that because it's a better distraction. You don't have to go inside. You don't have to do the like weed pulling on the inside that's going to put you in a position to be clear, you know, on what that is. And we can default into all kinds of questions about what my passion is, you know, and what I'm supposed to be doing. And, you know, that's like gets into so many things that don't necessarily lead you to profit. Money's going to lead you to profit. Consistency, showing up for yourself consistently is going to have an effect in how you show up in your business consistently. That's for sure. For sure, that's going to have more of an effect than how passionate you are necessarily about the topic. Of course, I love money mindset. Of course, I'm passionate about it. But like, I'm also passionate about tennis. And I'm also passionate about like my kids and music and like traveling and owning properties and like maybe other things I'll do in my life and other businesses I'll have and other, you know, explorations I want to do. So think about how passionate you are about yourself. And on a scale of 1 to 10, just ask yourself, like, how passionate am I about me? If this passion thing is something you struggle with, and thinking there's like this thing that you're missing out on. And I get it. Like some people are in like 9 to 5s that they're truly not happy about, you know, and it's more of like a happiness question, about where they're spending like 10 hours a day. But you kind of have to love the mess that you're in before you can get into something else. You know, it's kind of the process, the evolution is like, to just not be triggered by it anymore or to move on from it, so that you can have the next thing. Right. So kind of loving the mess that you're in, and caring about what's going on for you, being passionate about you. Those are the 2 things I'd like you to focus on. Ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how passionate am I about, myself and making money? Ask yourself those 2 questions because they'll definitely make you profit faster, I think, than just focusing on passion. I know someone's going to come in here and tell me about passion and how amazing it is and how it lights you up and your why and all of that, which is great. Like, I totally appreciate that. I just don't think it's sustainable. I don't think that's the thing that's going to like keep you going. Making money makes you feel really good. You can get bored of the topic that you're talking about, but I don't know. I don't get bored of like making money. It just continues to feel good. Am I alone in that? So I would say like, just don't worry about it so much. Like, don't worry about having to find the thing. The thing will find you, and it's probably already found you a long time ago. You're just kind of like avoiding it or being distracted by it. Jesse's saying, speaking of loving the mess of where you are, how do you do that when your situation gives you anxiety, stress, sadness, or does it just apply to you as a person? Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of like the journey of like becoming empowered and being like, taking ownership over that I've, you know, that I'm in a job or situation that like makes me really unhappy. And you got to take ownership over like, okay, I created this because I'm trying to heal this and I'm trying to get out of this and I'm trying to feel more empowered and trying to give myself more choices. And what does this kind of reflect in my life? What kind of pattern does this reflect? That type of thing. Jesse, that's what I take a look at. Like, how is this part of a bigger pattern? And it's challenging to love the mess that you're in. I've been in tons of situations in business and personally, where I've been like, I really hate this. And there's a period of like totally being like, I hate this. And this is like not okay for me. And then there's a period of like, well, what am I going to do about it? And what can I do about it? And how can and there's times where like things are just confusing and you don't know why it's happening to you and doesn't seem fair and it's not fair and it sucks. And taking ownership over that and not having to get over it right away, I think is important too. So I hope that answers your question to some degree. It's kind of like a little bit broad. Hey, Roberta Rodham Monroe. How do you discern between distraction and diversification? Oh, that's a good question. Can you tell me a little bit more? Because I think it's distracting if you're not seeing the result that you want, probably It's a distraction if you're not seeing the result that you want. That's my guess. But you need some time to be able to see if it's bringing you a result too, right? Tell me more about that if you can. So if you're stuck on the like passion thing, take a look at how can I be more passionate about myself in the ways that I'm able to right now, and how can I be more passionate about making money? That is what I would say is going on there. And Roberta, if you want to let me know, how do you discern between distraction and diversification? Generally, distraction is, to me, the thing that's keeping you from feeling good, moving forward, making more money, making profits. It's keeping you occupied, and you kind of have this sense of like, I'm not really planting seeds, or I'm not sure I'm planting seeds. You should be able to see the difference between like diversifying your income, or, diversifying your interests, and distracting yourself from like the stuff at hand. That's I would say maybe distraction kind of keeps you in fantasy land too. It's like, what's my passion? What's gonna light me up and like be the best thing for me? And it's like, it's going to change, and it's too much pressure. And like, we're usually multi-liking things. Like, we like lots of things. It's just kind of like, what's coming to me that's working, and let me try and expand on that as much as possible so I can make as much money as possible right now. Does that make sense, guys? All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Ro, let me know if you expand on that, and I'll answer it in the thread. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are complex creatures. Oh my God, are we ever? Yeah, it came up with a client. It's like her default is like, I'm just not passionate about this. I just don't care about this. And it's like, well, it's making you money, then it's kind of sabotage. Like, if you know what I mean? If it's making you money and like it's not that hard and you're not killing yourself doing it, it's probably like you're focused on it's a way to not focus on you. And the work that you need to do, maybe around opening your heart, maybe around other things that, you could align while you're, not in your full passion in this moment. So yeah, it's a bit of a setup, like to have this like passionate thing that leads you all through your life. I think we're way more complex than just that. And that there's just one answer to everything. It's not concrete either. So it's not like it's going to necessarily make the path clear, and you'll probably end up going around and around in circles thinking, like trying to find the thing. I get the answer. Fantasyland tends to keep me dreaming. Good thing without following up with action. Not so good thing. Boom. There you go. There you go, Ro. Nailed it. Fantasyland keeps us dreaming, which is great, but it doesn't have the action to follow up. Exactly. So yeah. So that's my thoughts for the passion piece. And focus on just being consistent. Like, it's kind of like passion is like, in a way, it can be like the victim, like archetype thing where it's like, it's got to be so big and absorb me and like take me over. And, it just is like too much. It's too extreme, and it doesn't have to be like so extreme where it just envelops your entire life and being. It's kind of like, and I get it because I have that kind of all or nothing background, where it's like, oh, I want it to just like take me over and just, fall madly in love with it, and there'll be nothing else. And it's like, that's the victim stuff. That's the like extreme addiction cycle where it's just going to take you over and knock you out and, throw you into where you have those like googly eyes and you can't see straight. And that's kind of like not the way you want to fall in love with your passion. You want it to be cool and calm and like consistent and easy, all those things that we want with our money: calm, cool, consistent, easy, recurring, not a dramatic roller coaster that sometimes can like follow this like fiery, passionate thing. So it's that maturation, right? It's like maturing into that deeper love that is the deeper love that's like just more consistent, and we're like, oh yeah, this is good. Like, why do I keep looking for the high that the passion can give me? You don't need the high the passion can give you. You don't need it, right? Go get your high at the gym. Go get your high from some like delicious food you cooked for yourself. You don't need the high of passion. You need the high of consistently showing up for yourself so your money can consistently show up for you. And I think that's where I'm going to drop the mic. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and making this a cool conversation. If you want to work with me, you can PM me or go book a time at agnes.youcanbook.me. Yes, a deeper relationship, not freshly in love, but a mature, exactly. So you can book a call and see if we're a fit for one-on-one. I do have a mastermind I'm going to roll out in October, or well, I'll roll it out the last week, maybe next week. That's going to start in October. So if you're interested in that, let me know. It's going to be a very small group. So if you're interested in something like that, let me know. And then there's always PTP DIY. So get into one of these and let's start rocking your mindset. Mwah! Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next live.